Today we are discussing Pluto lines in astrocartography. I am Fox Red Sky. I am your astrologer, your soul coach. I'm here in Costa Rica, living my life the best I know how, and today we are going to discuss Pluto lines in astrocartography. So if you don't know what astrocartography is, this is using astrology to really find the lines on the planet where you have the most abundance, luck, strife, luck, and all that stuff. So and Pluto is the line that we're talking about today. I'll be honest with you, I feel like I have quite a bit of knowledge of these lines, not because I've personally lived on these lines, but I've had a lot of companions who've lived on these lines. My husband lived on this line for a long time. Some of my closest friends just struggled on these lines now. So let's just get into it. Okay, so first we'll talk about Pluto ascending. And so I had a very close friend of mine living. They were actually born on their Pluto ascending line, and it was really, really tough. One, they grew up basically always getting into fights, always having trouble. They were always moving around. So it was a lot of conflict where they were either very much like people felt like they had to prove themselves and like fight them, or they were getting up and basically leaving whatever they knew and going to a suburb or smaller or different school. So what I've seen in the Pluto ascending lines is basically people are going to either love you or hate you. It's just like Scorpio, being a Scorpio ascendant. When you're in this space, people are going to either be very fearful of you, and you're going to have that fearful persona because you're going to be kind of attacked, or they're going to see you as powerful. They're going to want to hang out with you. Pluto lines, I'm going to just tell you right off the bat, are not always the easiest lines to live on, but sometimes they can be the most rewarding lines. Okay, next we're going to talk about Pluto descending. And I can say that one of my closest and best friends did find their now husband on their descending Pluto line. They didn't stay there very long, but they met there, and then they live somewhere else now. So can you find a soulmate on your Pluto descending line? I personally wouldn't advise it. If you do have your Venus in Scorpio, maybe go to a Mars line, because Pluto lines can be very, very intense. It's a lot of death and rebirth. So you just have to remember that whenever you're moving or living or traveling to a Pluto ascending or descending line, and also look at where that Pluto is transiting, and that's probably the area of life that you're going to have the most affected and intensified in that place where you're living or traveling to. Okay, so the next line that we're going to talk about is Pluto MC. I feel like people who are living on Pluto MC lines are going to draw and get famous for controversial things. Maybe they're going to be known for their sexuality. Maybe they're going to be known for something that they said or did that was just kind of offensive, and either they're going to have half the population love them and half the population hate them, so there's going to be it's like a really divisional kind of fame to possibly get notoriety for as being on a Pluto MC line. Last but certainly not least is the Pluto IC Line. And I've known some of my really, really good friends who've gone to MC and IC lines, Plutos, and they always ended up basically dissolving all the friendships that they made in that area. And so it would go through these cycles, these 3 to 5 year cycles where they make all these friends, they'd have all this amazing growth, and then all of a sudden all of that would implode. I even seen it with businesses. I had a friend of mine who was living on their Pluto ascendant, and it was constantly, they would start a business, it would do really well, and then, so it's really hard to build anything on these lines, because this is more of transformation. Now, if you're looking for that and being scared, if you're looking for that transformational healing, or just the change in your life, then maybe going to a Pluto line is something that you're seeking. I'm not going to say either way, because I'd really like for you to make your own choices, I'd also really love to hear what your thoughts. Have you ever lived on any of these Pluto lines, and what your experience was? Was it positive? Was it negative? Kind of just tell me in the comments below, because learning and sharing, that's how we grow, people. That's how we become the highest and greatest version of ourselves. So anyway, I love this topic about astrocartography. If you want to learn more, I have other videos where I talk more in depth about it. Again, wherever you are in the world, I'm sending mass love. Mwah.